the Mom Experts Live. So today we are going to have a different kind of live. It is a conversation with an author. So as you all know, I've been a fan of AdiDev Press books. They are very thoughtful. They are designed with a message in them, and they are very, very deeply intertwined with our culture, with our things that we have been brought up reading and listening to, and the stories of our heritage and our people who inspire us. So one such book is Priya the Jungle Dancer. So as you know, school vacations are going on and we can never have enough books. So I came across this book and I thought, let me try it, let me read this book and see what it has. And today we are going to have a conversation with Sathya Achia. What more is in the pipeline? So we are going to add Sathya to the live. Okay, I've invited you. Superb. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, good morning. Well, good morning here. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, yes. Hello and good morning. This session, we're really, really excited to be talking to you. So, like I was telling everyone, I came across this book, and AdiDev Press books are always so thoughtful, so well written, so beautifully illustrated. And this is, I must say, it's one of the best so far. So, so yeah,
Thank you.
so. So, first of all, congratulations. It's a beautiful book. And the kids are loving it. We got it a couple of days back and we've been reading it. They're really liking the story of Priya. But before we begin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your life, and what has inspired this book?
Sure, sure. So, I'm Satya, and I am a children's book author. I write children's picture books as well as young adult and middle grade books. In fact, so Priya is my first picture book, and this was my debut novel. It is a fantasy adventure
Wow.
that starts in the US and ventures off into, it's basically also inspired by Kodagu, where my family is from in India. But it takes this teenage girl out on an adventure, and she is she's fierce and strong, and just character that I always wanted to depict and see in books. So I have been writing creatively ever since I was 5 years
Wow.
old, so all my life. In fact, my day job, I am an editor for a healthcare pharma company. So I've kind of married all facets of myself into my 9 to 5. But this is my passion, is to tell stories and write stories, and kind of create the books that weren't there for me as a child. I didn't see the representation that I wanted in the books I read growing up. And again, kudos to AdiDev Press with the books that they have produced. They're just amazing and relatable and just beautiful. So that was kind of my impetus, the passion behind writing these stories. So I'm in the US. I was born and raised in Canada, and so I've grown up in the West all my life, but my parents came from India. So we were the first generation over here, and it's it's been an incredible journey through the writing process. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a tough world.
Yeah, I
It's
can
tough out
imagine.
there, but yeah, if I think you have the fire and the passion, and you want to see these things, you can make them happen. I'm a mom myself. I've got 2 boys. I wish I could still say that they're young. They're teenagers now.
Wow.
Um, so I think for me, also children's literature was so important, because for them, I also wanted them to have that connection, and be able to see themselves in the books that they read. And I think it's such an important important thing. So
Absolutely. I think two of the things that you said, one is representation. How can you relate to the stories that you're reading? And second is, how does it tie to your culture, to your roots? And especially when someone is staying far from the homeland and you're constantly looking to belong somewhere. You're looking where you can fall back on for that connection, for that safety net. And I think this book beautifully does that. Like, I mean, it's uh, can I say it's somehow related to you and inspired by your life? Because from what you're saying, staying away from family and then still, going back to the roots. And that's what happens with Priya, right?
yes,
She's learning to dance from her Tata and Thai. How do you pronounce that?
correct. Tata and Thai.
Thai.
Yes, yes,
Thai.
that's how we
Okay.
say it too. And yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. That's exactly, I mean, I think a lot of the stories I write, and I think the most powerful ones end up being the ones that truly come from your heart. And this story was, it was inspired by my own relationship with my grandparents, and my culture, obviously, because I didn't see anything about, even when we were, when I was growing up, we had a beautiful, beautiful Indian community in the small town that I lived in, with a lot of families that had immigrated from all different parts of India. It's so vast, it's so rich with culture. Every state you travel to, there's something new festivals, everything. But there were no other families from Kodagu
Yes.
there. And in fact, at the time I was growing up in Canada, I think there might have been maybe like 4 other families in all of Canada that were from this region of India, which is in South India. So, yeah, so very much growing up, I would have the opportunity to visit my grandparents. And it, they were just these beautiful, humble people full of stories to share, full of, and just being in the environment, you learn so much, right? So all of those things have always stayed with me. And I think, with this story, it's that love and strength that you maintain with you, even though you're far away. And even though I was like young, I mean, I've always visited as much as I could. And even now, I mean, it was a long break, but we were able to take our own kids back and
Wow.
let them see Coorg. And it was just the most beautiful thing. But yeah, I wanted to celebrate the bond I have with my grandparents and had with my grandparents, and my Kodava culture. So
Yeah.
that was the inspiration.
So about the culture, like it's not. I'm in Maharashtra. It's not far from here, but I have not heard of this community of the culture, and it's very surprising because I was looking at at the dress and all, which is absolutely beautifully illustrated here.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the community, about the culture? Like, what is the predominant nature? What's the population like?
Good question on the population. I'm not 100% sure on that,
Yeah.
but it is a relatively small group of people. We have a tribe or clan system with our names. So it's nestled in the hills of the Western Ghats, which is in South India, and it kind of just goes up against Kerala, I guess. So it's very close to that Kerala border. It's known for, having these lush rainforests.
Yeah.
As a child, my grandparents always called it the jungle. So that's also why I've used the word jungle instead of
Yeah.
rainforest. But it's full of lush rainforests, coffee plantations. It has a diverse wildlife. It's it was every kid's dream to adventure in a place like that growing up, which definitely, again, it stuck with me. And in both my published books, it's very evident and prominent there. Culture, so in terms of language, we have I guess it's more of a dialect. So it's we call it Kodavatak, and it's kind of a mashup and borrowing of, it's in Karnataka state, so it borrows from, you know
Canada,
Kannada, and a little bit
Malayalam.
of Malayalam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Wow.
yeah. So
Love how diverse our country is, and so much, like
thanks.
you said, even in a particular state, you will find these small regions and small communities within communities. So it's beautiful. The message that you want to send through Priya the Jungle Dancer, if you can just tell briefly to all our viewers about what is the one message that you wanted to send through this book.
I might have two messages, but
Sure.
but with Priya's story, I mean, I definitely wanted to showcase a very universal message of trying and failing and trying again, which is very evident with Priya's journey through this story. But more so, it is this connection of holding loved ones, you know, with you. Though they are far, they are forever with you, they are always with you. And I really wanted to kind of blend those tales, because I think even though I was so far away from my grandparents, they did instill in me that, you know, we're going to try things in life. We're not always going to get there the first time, and you're going to try and try again. So I think that's definitely what I wanted to share. So,
Absolutely. Perseverance and connection. Absolutely.
yeah.
Such a beautiful message. So, if I may ask, Satya, what is in the pipeline now? I
Oh,
would like
wow.
to know about more children's books that are coming.
So I'm definitely, I'm constantly writing. I do have several picture books that are looking for a home.
Wow.
So my manuscripts, as I was saying, message with Priya is to, you know, try and fail and try again.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping these stories will find a home as well. I have written so my own children are a little bit older, so they're teenagers, as I mentioned. So my first novel was a YA, a young adult, and it was
Yes.
for 12 plus. And I think that kind of, you know, they were interested in that. And my younger son is just leaving middle school. And so I've been very interested in the middle grade genre. So I've actually just wrapped up a middle grade novel, and it's looking for a home. It's in the same universe as my first story. It has a lot of, you know, bits and pieces of Kodagu culture. The child, the protagonist is growing up in the US, and he's learning about mythology and folklore. And yeah, so I
Yeah.
have a you know,
Beautiful.
cross-generational story there too. So
That's my favorite kind. I love it when
thank you.
sci-fi meets mythology kind of. Nice, lovely. It also looks like some Netflix or some material which can be adapted into a series. So yeah, why not?
Yes, every author's dream. So
Yeah, why not? Why not? So once again, Satya, thank you so much for taking out time to have this conversation with us. Everyone who's watching this, this is a beautiful book to introduce your kids to the, Satya said, the message of perseverance, the message of connection with your family, with your loved ones, and a very beautiful book to look at as well. So both Satya and Janan have done a great job at it. And once again, keep on, you can buy this from AdiDev Press website. We'll be sharing the link. And if you have any questions about the book or anything that you want to mention to Satya, you can mention in the comments. We'll be sharing this live on our feeds. Thank you so much for
wonderful.
taking your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I loved it. Love
Oh,
talking to
same.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, you as well. Bye.
Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.